The Gulf Coast is home to a wide variety of creatures, great and small. But the joy of observing the region's wildlife sometimes changes to concern whenever we come upon animals that are orphaned or injured. It's good to know there are several organizations devoted to caring for and rehabilitating wild animals. And if you happen to find yourself along the northern Gulf Coast, you'll be glad to discover them right in your own backyard. People love their pets, and if the family cat or dog becomes sick or injured, we don't hesitate to take them to the vet. But what if we encounter an injured wild animal on the beach, or in the woods, or perhaps in our own backyard? In the greater Pensacola area, one of the places to turn for help is the Wildlife Sanctuary of Northwest Florida.
We take in injured and orphaned wildlife, and that really is our main mission. So we have a nursery for the orphan babies that come in, and we have a hospital for the injured. And anything that we can get back released, that's wonderful. And that really is your main goal, is you're trying to rehabilitate and release, and you're giving them a second chance.
It's our bobcat. She's right in here. We've had her for a couple of weeks now. She's actually got a fractured hip. We don't usually name our animals here at the sanctuary when they're releasable, but we did name this one because she's so special. Her name is Willow. With the broken hip, she doesn't feel very good, so she's very docile because she's in pain. She doesn't move around very much, which we don't want her to move around very much. With animals like your cat or dog at home, when they have a break, you can stabilize it, you can put the collar on them and everything, and you can keep them from messing with the break. But with wildlife, that's usually not possible. They won't tolerate something like that, and you end up doing more harm than good. So the best thing is to just keep them as immobile and contained as possible while the fracture heals.
And that's all you can hope for, is that second chance where you've had a little bit of interaction, usually with people to animals, and you're just trying to give that extra push and get them back out there. But we do 3,000 to 4,000 animals each year.
Let's talk about this deer here for a minute. Tell us about her.
Well, we have Beaker and Butterscotch, which are permanents. They came in as little fawns and had some issues and couldn't be released to the wild, and so they act as surrogates for us. Surrogates meaning when we've got fawns, we actually can be the ones feeding in a bottle, but we can have them out here and they lick each other and they learn all the snorts and when to spook and run, and it really makes a difference. They can be out here and they actually protect the fawns from predators. It makes such a difference to have something other than human interaction when you're raising babies.
You got a feed tub and dun tub and all that good stuff?
A lot of the animals that come to us are orphaned. We get lots and lots of squirrels. The flying squirrel babies, they'll come in more in the winter months, and those are nocturnal, and they eat the same thing, but they're nocturnal, so they're only out at nighttime. And they're cute, but people are cleaning out bird houses and they find the baby flying squirrels, or they're doing some projects around the house and pull off some rotted piece and they find the babies this way.
The tree that they were nesting in was cut down, and the people had them overnight, so we were unable to reunite them with their mom. So that's how we got them. They also don't get as big as gray squirrels. With their dark coloration, you don't really see them even when they are out at night. They're very quiet.
If the parent gets separated for one reason or another, you may have baby raccoons that are nesting in the wrong place. Nesting meaning mom has gone in someone's attic and it's had to be removed. That attic space is really a hollow tree. Everybody goes and removes hollow trees and rotted trees, but that hollow tree is such a vital thing to your environment. You've got a food source and you've got a place to live. So you've got habitat for flying squirrels, you've got habitat for all types of cavity-dwelling birds, and you've got beetles and bugs and worms. And when you start taking all that away, you're disturbing their habitat. There's a lot of different reasons that animals come in. Let me think. The seabirds, for example, are things that come in with fishing line, fish hooks. Not that anyone's trying to cause a problem, but when animals get hungry, they do dumb things, and they will go after the lures that the fishermen toss, and they tend to get tangled up in things.
Sometimes it's difficult for a layperson to know whether a wild creature is in need of help.
We happened to notice what appears to be a female cormorant laying on the beach, and we thought maybe she was fine there, and then noticed that one leg was extended behind her. After observing her for a while, it seems that she was that she can't fly and she can't walk, and she's just tried to reposition herself several times.
Barbara Hughes is a frequent visitor to Northwest Florida. Late one afternoon, while enjoying the sun and surf on Pensacola Beach, she and her friend Robin noticed what seemed to be an injured seabird at water's edge. They summoned help and prepared to rescue the bird with a cardboard box and a beach towel.
Sorry, honey. Oh.
Quick.
Poor thing. Oh,
Yeah, there's
all right.
After keeping the bird in Robin's garage overnight, her husband brought it to the wildlife sanctuary where it was identified as a loon. The sanctuary had received several calls about the loon from people at Pensacola Beach who thought its legs were broken. But it turns out that this was not necessarily the case.
Well, usually what we see with loons is that because their legs are set so far back on their body that they cannot walk very well on dry land, people find them and they think, oh, its legs are broken. And it's just a matter of not knowing what's really going on there, because they don't walk very well. They do this weird kind of lunging thing. But people bring us loons all the time where they don't necessarily need to be rescued. It's just that they need to be relocated to like a beach or another good body of water, because what they have to do is, because they can't use their legs, they have to have a certain amount of water to be able to swim and take a flying takeoff from the water. So that's the kind of situation where it's always good to call, because you never know if there's like a parasite infestation or if the bird is really debilitated because it's emaciated, or if there is an injury. It can be hard to tell, and that's what we're trained to do. So it's always good to call, but sometimes in this situation it's best just to relocate the animal.
Let's talk about some of these baby pictures. Everybody loves babies, and you certainly have seen a lot come through here.
Yes, and you remember how I told you the evil plan was they're all cute? Well, it's true.
And they need help.
Anytime I'm together with my sisters and they start bringing out their phones and showing me the picture of the grandbaby, I go, look at mine. And I've got all these baby pictures on my phone. And so the baby raccoons, the baby fox, baby otters, not much cuter than a baby otter. Baby skunks are adorable, the little bobcats that come in, the gray fox. Again, skunks are something I absolutely adore. They're just so cute. These are a lot of the baby birds. Of course, they're always hungry. Not all are a little baby that you think. This is actually an eagle.
Is it?
It is the eagle. We are one of 9 facilities in the state of Florida that can do eagle rehabilitation. So we take in little eagles, the young eagles, and get them ready to go, which is really fun. Sometimes we just bring them back to their nest site and we can release them back on location. But we take them anywhere from Alabama over to Port St. Joe, Tallahassee, Crawfordville, all the way one side to the other.
I would imagine that volunteers are a very important part of the operation here.
Volunteers are everything. We absolutely could not be where we are today without volunteers. The volunteers have built all the units, all the aviaries, all the cages, all the educational things that you see here. We really don't pay for labor. This is all done with volunteer labor, which is amazing. And they do animal care, they do fostering, they answer the phone, answer the door, they'll do paperwork. They are everything. They do a lot of outreach programs with us. It's great.
This is the Wildlife Sanctuary's Christmas Open House and Supply Drive.
We do this to give back to the community because they do support us during the year with donations of food, fish, meat, and monetary donations as well.
One of the things we do are collect supplies to help for the care and the actual running of the wildlife sanctuary, to cut our costs as much as possible, to provide as much for the wildlife as we can. Some of the supplies that people are bringing into us are things like dog food to help feed the foxes that we have here that are animals that can't be re-released. A lot of different bird seeds that go for the care of the birds, and just for general cleaning that we have around the sanctuary, laundry soap and dish soap. A lot of different food supplies such as peanut butter and animal crackers that might go into the care of feeding of the raccoons.
Well, this is a great horned owl, Barnum. He's about 13 years old. And he came to us about 13 years ago as a baby. There was two of them, Barnum and Bailey. Bailey was releasable. Barnum has a permanent eye injury, so he wasn't able to be released. So we've used him for an educational animal. It's fun. And how many times do you get this close to an owl? You know? And it's a necessity. We put so many obstacles in their way. The least we can do is try our best to take care of what's left.
Releasing animals back to the wild is the best. And some people say, oh, you must be really sad to see it go. Well, sure, a little bit, but the fact is that's what your goal is. You just gave them that second chance.
The Wildlife Sanctuary of Northwest Florida is open to the public on a frequent basis, but you should check the sanctuary's website and call ahead for information about visiting hours. To get to the sanctuary from Interstate 10, travel south on I-110, then take the Cervantes Street exit west. When you reach North Pace Boulevard, turn south until you come to Wright Street, then go west again and follow the signs to the sanctuary. We hope you enjoyed this look at the people and places that care for the region's injured and orphaned wildlife. We'll see you again next time, right in your own backyard.